Hey John, how's it going?
Great. How you doing?
Awesome. So I have my good friend here, Justin Roberts, I've been telling you about.
How's it
And
going?
yeah,
Great.
yeah. So I want to just share what Justin's done for me. One time I think it was like 2 years ago, I was driving up to Asheville, had like a 12-hour drive, and my lower back had been bothering me for like years and like months specifically, would come and go. And 45 minutes, he did some work on me, like push things in. And I swear it was like, whoa, like it was like instant relief. I get in the car, I drive, and it's since then, 2 years later, hasn't come back. So that's
Wow.
one thing that Justin's capable of doing. But really, what I'm so excited, what's actually been so much more foundationally beneficial to me is this thing that he's going to talk about. He calls it the poise or the posture, but it's like how we're actually supposed to hold our body together. This is my understanding of it, how we're supposed to hold our body together. And, we have this thing called the core muscles. And that's like, I call it, like, I'm discovering this on my own, like, after all these years, finally, for the first time, being embodied, not just having a body. So I feel like by learning to engage what he calls like the vomit reflex, like tightening that in, like it just a second I was searching for this, and then when he showed it to me, it was like that's what I've been looking for.
Hmm.
And he gave me kind of permission to like engage those muscles all the time.
Hmm.
And then I just did it, and he, and there's more parts to the posture. I haven't even gotten too far, but just this alone is like, like I'm all about the gut, right? Like all the gut microbes, but like, and it's like a brain down there, but your head has a skull keeping the brain together. Your gut, you need to hold it together. And so these core muscles, they keep that gut brain, close, which keeps your unconscious attention more there, which is where your intuition comes from. So I mean, the like I tell Justin, like I'm a biohacker,
Hmm.
anti-aging, health optimization person going back like 15, 20 years already. And this is one of the biggest like foundational things you can do, like that
Wow.
I've discovered. This has been like the biggest game changer, because everything you do, like the way you walk. Yeah, I was swimming every day. I'm discovering new things. I was swimming. Oh, let me engage those muscles. Boom, I'm swimming better, walking better. Um, like everything, yeah, just feels like less prone to injury, more strength. And I always make a joke with Justin, like if you want to get the men interested, this gives you like a 6-pack abs, and it'll give you an extra inch in height if you because you're literally like standing
Hmm.
properly. So also what I've noticed, I used to get a lot of anxiety my whole life, and I would get these butterfly feeling. I didn't realize the butterfly feeling is you're not holding those muscles together. So ever since I've been holding the muscles together, physiologically, I'm having less spasms, which is causing me to experience less anxiety. So it's like, yeah, this is like really exciting, and I think people really need to know this. And back pain, all these other things. So it's like I realized, like, before you go to do yoga, before you go to a chiropractor, before you get surgery, and I discovered this world with another friend of mine, Terry, because I had a knee issue like 3 years ago, and nothing can get rid of it. I was like getting really nervous, and he had me work on my hip and the base of my feet, like rubbing, and my knee got better. So I was starting to understand, like, this is the whole way the body moves. And we talked to Justin White already, and he's got a whole, what I see, very complementary set of wisdom and technique. So yeah, this is like, to me, the first thing before Pilates. I've been doing yoga 20 years, but I wasn't doing it right. But again, I was doing it right. Now I met Justin, and now I'm doing everything so much more optimally. So yeah. So on that note, I'll just start with a question for Justin here. Um, so what is living your bliss feel like to you?
Well, before I answer, I wanted to just thank you for, sharing your story because it's really amazing. And when we talk about posture, people think just like, oh, tall and shoulders back, and like, oh, I'm better. So
Exactly.
it's really nice because people, when I talk about posture, it just goes over their head because that's what they think about. So whenever you share all of these benefits that you've been having in your own personal life, it's so powerful. So thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as far as what brings me bliss, did you ask?
Yeah. What is bliss? What is, like, when I say, like, living, following your bliss, or living a blissful life? What does that feel like to you? What does that look like?
Following my bliss. So following my bliss is being in alignment, but also being in resonance with the version of myself that I know I truly am. Because whenever I'm in there, like even now, like I'm just getting full body chills because it's just like tuning into that and like creating that resonance. So aside from that, any board sports, one wheel is my go-to. I one wheel trail ride pretty extensively, aggressively, and so I'm doing jumps and grabs and all types of awesome stuff. But put me on any board. I love to surf, love to snowboard, love to skateboard, love to skimboard, anything that ends in board. I'll never get bored with. So
Nice.
yeah, so those things give me bliss. Deep conversations. Like we just recently went to that ecstatic living. So shout out to that amazing event. Anyone who watches this, you have to go if you're able to. And
Definitely.
it's like my wife got food and she's like, "Oh, do you want to eat?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not hungry." Like I'm so satiated with like these deep conversations to just like jump in the deep end and just talk about the real stuff. And so I'm a teacher. I love to teach. I love to guide people to their own light, bringing their own darkness to light. So I just love that. And that just fills me so much that I don't even have the desire to eat in a good way.
Awesome. Yeah. The boards. We got to talk about that because John's all about flow state, and that's just pure flow. And then the next question was like, yeah, what's your strategy, or what's your advice, your one piece of advice to living a blissful life for in general, or specifically for you?
Finding stillness.
Mm.
Finding stillness, and that's something I'm so good at. Some people may think I'm a little too private with my life, but I just like to be inside of me, and I recommend that to everyone. So it's like this word meditation, and it means different things for different people. And being in meditation is really just allowing those things that are in the background just to kind of come up, to see them for what they are, so that they can have the space to not take up my space. And once that clears, the stillness is found. But also an easy way to get into stillness is doing the posture. Right when you go into posture, the mind is clear. It's amazing. It's like magic. The sacred pause breath. So again, finding that stillness, just bringing you to the eternal moment of now. Like, you guys know how many times we breathe in a day, roughly?
26,000 or 24,000?
Up to 28,000, but around 20 to 28,000 times a day. Isn't that crazy? Like, how many of those,
That is
John,
crazy.
Jason, how many of those do you actively participate in?
Right.
I do a lot, but yeah.
Let's say if you did 1,000, okay, and that's like giving you right. But if you did 1,000, there's still 20 to 27,000 more that you're not doing. So what part of you is doing that? So with these practices and these programs that I'm creating, it allows you to commune with the divine that's already inside. So we don't have to seek it outside. It's already doing everything for us. It's what's healing our tissues and telling our immune system what to do and breathing for us and just all the things. It's so amazing. So just my advice would be finding that stillness, because whenever we do go in and we connect with that part, it is completely still.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really
Awesome.
nice. So, Justin, I have a question for you. I shift gears from what Jason's talking about. So,
yeah.
What's the first or the biggest time you felt different or disconnected from everyone?
Ooh. High school. I'm gonna go with high
Okay.
school. Yeah.
What happened?
So I've always been empathic, very like in touch with myself, and very gentle and loving. And the girls in high school did not want that. The girls in high school wanted the mean guy. They wanted the guys that treated them like crap. And I was just like wondering, like, why do these girls want these guys that treat them terribly? And it was just so mind blowing to me. And me being a high school boy, I wanted the girls. So I had to create this alter ego. So I created this alter ego, and I was still nice to the girls, but like I was not nice to them at the same time. And so that went with this whole alter ego. And so I had to like create this thing that was not me, or I should say it was a part of me that I had to bring forward that I wasn't used to experiencing. And it became normal to me, but I lost touch with the part of me who I was.
Right.
And so, later on in life where I am today is like I've had to do the work to actually get back to where I was and let that part of me that I did create know, like, hey, you have a place, but you're not like the default, like foreground of where everything's going to come from. So yeah, that was like the first time I felt really out of place, and that's kind of like the whole spiritual process through that.
Nice. Great answer. So my second question is a little different than that. It's when was the first or the biggest time that you made others feel uncomfortable by challenging the status quo?
Wow. When you say others, can you give me a little more there? Like in a
People around you, could be your family, could be friends, just students, others. When you went, I am challenging what they all agree should happen, and I'm realizing I'm making them uncomfortable.
This has kind of been like a theme of my life, since being a child, because I always wondered like why we have to go to church to connect to God. I've different things, different laws that we have. Like we're not following God's laws, we're following man's laws, and like like being able to own land, and like how can you own something that's living, and like as a child, these were the things that I was thinking. But then like fast forward, like conspiracy theories as we call them, and it's the more I research things, they're not so much theories. And so that was definitely abrasive to a lot of people, friends, family, colleagues. And I just get people thinking, and they do their own research, and they're like, do you know there's something to what you were saying? I'm like, yeah, that's just the beginning of the rabbit hole. Yeah, have fun with that.
Nice.
Yeah, but then
Nice.
I've gotten to a point like where I am in my evolution that like I have not looked into a conspiracy theory in over a year or two. Like the time is flying by so fast, and it's so freeing because I see how it served a purpose of bringing up and having me interface with my own darkness, and bringing my own darkness to light has been just amazing. So in the last couple months, I've been through so much, and I know so many people in the world, and anyone who gets the opportunity to watch this, I'm sure you can agree, but we're all being refined. We're all being like stripped down to be rebuilt. And that's what I went through. Like, I lost my dad a couple months ago. Yeah, a couple months ago already. Wow. And just going through just different things. It was just like one thing after another, but I didn't look at it like, oh, what next? And oh, why me? And all those things. It was more of like, okay, this is happening. Like, I have to learn law now. Okay, I have to do this now. Okay, I have to do this. And I just kept saying, this is easy. I can do it. This is easy. I can do it. And I got through all of it. Like I'm on the other side of it, and I feel so refined and so connected, even more so through doing the posture and my meditations and the things that I do daily, that I'm a different person. I've also been on repeat playing Napoleon Hill, and that's been a game changer. So anyone who gets to watch this, it's on YouTube. Some of it is AI, but the message is still consistent because he died, I think, in 1970. But he's talking about, yeah, if you're scrolling and looking at your posts, I'm like, cell phones weren't even out back then. So, but anyhow, the message is there. And so all these little things that I've been doing have just been refining me.
I think if you're growing, you get refined and you bring your darkness to light. I think if you're not growing, you're not that doing it. So you clearly you're growing. So yeah, great answer. Thanks.
Thank you. Awesome. Great question.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is your perfect day look like?
Oof, perfect day. So waking up at 6 a.m., doing my meditations that I do, doing the posture, activating my own divine technology within, and then just connecting to my vision and just already living it, already breathing it, seeing myself on it, getting the chills, because each time it's just like right on command. So after I do all of that, I like to go do my one-wheel ride, go do some trail riding. If there's time. We're talking about during the week? Or are we talking about during the work week? Or
I would say, yeah, like, well, just a perfect day, but it could be like your work day. Let's say work day.
Work
Well,
day?
I say work day. I mean, you could be running your dojo. I make a joke like he's going to be like the head of a dojo, and all these people are going to be doing the posture, like 100 people like doing the posture.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, it's really, we talked before, it's about just remaining in the presence. It's so much about that. Like I set gratitude alarms, and so then when the gratitude alarm goes off, just for a minute, I'm just creating that resonance, being in resonance with my vision. And I find that so powerful. So it keeps bringing me back to the moment, bringing me back to the presence, bringing me back to the vision of what is most important. Like, why am I here? And so if you've ever had a vision, like it should light you up whenever you think about it. And so the more that you get lit up with it, God, universe, the field is going to bring it closer and faster to you. And that's what I've been so focused on. I've been so focused and been disciplining myself to remain in integrity with that, because I know what life lives to not live that vision. So I've already had that experience, and I'm appreciative of it. I'm grateful for it, but it doesn't serve me anymore. So now I'm like just really putting in that work. So just remaining present, remaining.
So yeah, like your perfect day is not like necessarily what you're doing. It's the state you're in, the presence in everything you do, which is like the perfect answer for that. But yeah, but that involves, right, like boarding, maybe teaching a little bit,
always
spending time with your wife and daughter, like just basically what you're doing. But it's more about the state you're in.
Exactly. Yeah. As I'm going through the day, like when I work with clients, I love to teach, seeing where someone's at, and then kind of just guiding them or helping them see something in a different way where they get their aha moment. And yeah, even out in public, I used to not speak too much to people out in public, but getting out of my comfort zone and doing that. And it's really cool, like sharing space with people and like lifting them up, and they don't even know who you are. And then let me just be saying hello and smiling, or like already being in that grateful space, and they feel it. And then like you see them walk differently from how they were walking when they were walking towards you. So it's sweet. Yeah. So yeah, you said it very easy, very, very eloquently. So thank you.
Yeah, sure. And what's like a wish you have for maybe something you want to call in for yourself, physically or some quality, or is there something you wish for your career or in a relationship?
Yeah, great question. I would just substitute the word for wish for vision.
Okay.
And the vision I have is actually working on a project, so I guess I could share it a little bit, is creating essentially an eco village where I share all of my programs and everything I do, and I teach people how to one wheel or ride some type of PEV, personal electric vehicle, whether it's an off-road skateboard or electric unicycle or a one wheel or a off-road scooter. So helping them get into flow state, teaching them how to ride it, getting them into flow state, and then braking, and then having maybe you come in and you share about the gut, or maybe John comes and can help them like mentally see where they're at and how to get into flow state with where they're at, maybe not seeing how to get there. And then we would continue on the path and do a cleanup of whatever property or land that we are on. So it's a way of like getting people involved with their own flow and then helping them integrate what that was and how to take that into life and then giving back to earth. So it's just like the full circle. And so that's a vision that I am working on and acquiring land and everything. So I'm really excited about that. So whenever I talk about the vision and I get the goosebumps on command, that's what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's one of them anyways.
That's
good.
amazing. So going back to when you were challenging the status quo, especially as a kid, I love this idea of you asking these questions and everybody giving you this look like, why are you asking the question? No, I'm not supposed to be asking these questions.
Yeah.
What compelled you to keep asking these people these questions, even though you know, especially being an empath, knowing that these people are uncomfortable? What compelled you to do it?
It's like you can only talk to yourself too much, like or so much. It's like I can only like go ask my own self the questions, and then I have to engage with someone. Like I have to get some input here and seeing where someone is or where they're not with that particular topic. It's that kind of evolved into like my whole like awakening process, and then like I want to go and awaken everyone, and then like later on I realized, well, not everyone is supposed to do that right now. And so that's like ideally like the ultimate goal, right? And not everyone is ready for that. People want to experience just who they feel they are and enjoy life, and that's perfect. I love that. So it's I've stepped back from that, and now I'm very selective of who I have conversations with, especially in that way, because I want my cup to be filled. I don't want to empty it with someone who the cup has a hole just coming out of the bottom. So yeah, that'd be the way I'd answer that.
Well, though, I like the way you just said that. Like, so what was your mission back then? Clearly, it sounds like you have a different mission, but if you put yourself back in that situation, what was your mission?
Man, I thought my mission was to go and awaken everyone.
Awaken everyone.
Yeah.
Nice.
But where I was in my awakening process was like the alarm clock went off. I woke up and I'm just sitting on the side of my bed and I'm trying to wake people up from that space. I didn't even like get up, brush my teeth and get dressed and everything. Like I wasn't ready to hold the space for people to see if they were ready to awaken themselves.
Right.
And so that's what I realized, like, wow, I have so much more work I need to do. And these last 2 months has just been like such a blessing. Like, it's been so deep. And yeah, just sharing that space and working with people from there. I see so much more radical transformation with people. It's, I'm just so grateful and I'm so blessed to share it with people.
Great answer.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah. So do you want to start with give an intro to what this posture, what you call it, like? Yeah, give us the background, the benefits, and.
All right, you may have to keep me on track here.
Sure. But go deep. We got a lot of time.
Okay, cool.
Go deep.
So I want to just read it to you. I'm going to just tell it to you. So this all inspired, this all came about because I've taken yoga and massage training and osteopathic training and so many different trainings over the last 13 years. And I was a training junkie, I guess you could call it, where I was doing like 1, 2, sometimes 3 a month. And usually for your CEUs, you do like 2 in 2 years. So anyhow, I have extensive training, but one thing that it never touched on, maybe it just mentioned the word posture and never went into posture. And so I had a friend named Trey, a deep spiritual brother of mine who was visiting, and he was actually staying with a friend of his who is a mutual friend, and her name is Kelly Haas, and she does incredible work. She's a body worker. She works with trauma. She's she's like does great with fitness and posture alignment, and she's amazing at what she does. So she taught the posture to Trey. So when Trey was visiting, when we went and worked out, he was showing me and my wife and a couple of my friends, or our friends, this posture. And I'm like, wow, this is powerful. And then I like sat in meditation, and I'm like, whoa, the spiritual application to this is so powerful, because they weren't aware of these other things that I'm able to kind of just naturally tune into.
Right.
And so I'm sharing like, wow, this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting. And then I would hear from someone like, hey, what about this part? Like, for instance, the glutes. And because the glutes wasn't part of the posture, glutes are usually used for like explosive usage. So whenever we're running or sprinting, things like that, that's when the glutes really activate. And so I didn't give too much attention to it. And whenever it came in, and then working with this deep vomit reflex sling, in order for that to activate, because everything is levers and pulleys. So if we have the pulley on the front of the spine, that's actually helping the spine get length, we need something behind that to stabilize it. So this is where the glutes come in. So the glutes engage, what allows the vomit reflex pose to effortlessly be engaged. Because before, Jason, when I was teaching it to you, we were just doing the vomit pose, but we had to give more effort to it. So that was a huge change in that. And then I work with the Eternal Life teachings, which are like the original teachings that Jesus was teaching the world. And that I was discovering some deeper applications of working with, we have this inner center called the Azure point. It's our soul chakra, or excuse me, it's our soul portal into the kingdom of God inside. It is also, I won't go too much into about what it is, but it's a very powerful center. So working with that and then sending energy up to our soul chakra, the eternal sun that rotates above, and then grounding all that into the earth is, so there's deep spiritual application to this. And
well, I want to keep you on track too. And you had mentioned when you first showed me, he's like, you think Buddha and Jesus walked around like this?
yes,
I'm like, of course not. They were in the posture. Like
they're regal.
Because it's like the posture, like, that they say if you like stand, open up your arms, or if you do this, you can't help but be happy. If you smile, you'll be more happy. It's the same thing. Like your posture is going to completely affect your confidence level. Like
Totally.
physically doing it affects it emotionally. But if you're like Jesus or Buddha, you don't have to even think about the posture. They're just in that state and their body just follows. But Justin is like showing how you can use the body to affect the mind, and then and vice versa.
So how long ago was this, Justin, when you learned what you're talking about right now?
Like 7 months ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes,
this is fresh. Okay.
So if you look at Justin's like credentials, it's like he's got like 50 letters after his name, because it's like massage therapy, cranial sacral 1, cranial sacral 2. I mean, just fascia. Like he's just, like he said, he has a better understanding of how the body is put together structurally, and by working with people like massage and cranial sacral therapy, which we didn't talk about much, the cranial sacral, but that's like his background. If you say cranial sacral to people, everyone's like, ooh. It's people, it's a really like exciting, it's very subtle, but it's very well respected. So he probably has more training in that than anybody. So he's doing all these things, and then he comes full circle and he's like, oh, I could just teach people to do this themselves. And it's like, I'm taking care of like 75% of it, and they're going to be able to empower themselves. And that's how I am with food. And you are too, John. You want to teach people how to flow. I want to teach people like how your gut works with the microbes and how to feed it. And then you know how to do it for the rest of your life. You could pass it on to your kids. And I want to say, I forgot to say one more benefit too of the posture is like, if you think about it, when it's tight, right? Like it's like when you have like some chips or something, you want to get the air out of the bag before you close it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like keeping that posture closed. It prevents gas from building up in your colon. So it's like so there's this. It's just, again, when you look at how divinely we are designed. Like every single part, like, and I want Justin to kind of explain more of this too, like how there's pressure, like it's all perfect. So like one part of the posture supports the next part of the posture. So it's just so holistic. How, like, you know, however we've been designed, like it doesn't like build our parts linearly. It like,
Right.
and like everything in the body has like multiple levels of purpose. Like all the, you know, enzymes do like multiple things. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. I'm so glad you said that because I was starting to go down the spiritual path, and I want to bring it back. So yeah, so talking about that, it's with my training and also researching this more, because there's a lot of people who are more scientific minded, so I wanted to provide that in the program. And so we have pressurized systems, like we have the cranial cavity, we have the thoracic cavity, the abdominal cavity, and the pelvic cavity. But the thoracic is a negative pressure, right? We need to be able to compress from the breathing. So when the exhale, or when we breathe, when we inhale, the diaphragm descends, it's creating a downward pressure. So there's all of these feedback loops that these pressurized systems need to hear and feel to be able to respond accordingly, to create the correct enzymes, to have the right blood flow, to create the right lymphatic flow, all of this stuff. So same thing from the abdomen to the pelvis. Some people who have pelvic issues or hip issues, it's probably coming from an imbalanced pelvic stability. But if their gut is just kind of forward, what I call lazy pose or lazy posture, then the belly's going to come forward and the low back is going to get compressed, and then the pelvis is going to either pushed off to a side or torsion, because we're supposed to be lengthened. And if we're not, if things are forward, then things have to twist and find a new space.
Right.
So the pressurized system is actually the pressurized systems is a huge part of the posture to create that integrity for proper communication and connection. The thing that's holding everything in place, though, is the fascia. And the
I was going to ask
fascia,
you about this.
so the fascia, we think of like, oh yeah, it's just like a connective tissue. But did you guys know it's a multidimensional fiber optic communication from every point in the body, both in the body and outside of it?
I have heard
No.
this. This is like some exciting research people have been talking about. And
It's
also
amazing.
it's like a liquid also, right? It carries
Correct.
moisture.
In some of it, because there's 4 stages of water. So we have liquid, gas, solid, and then we have the crystalline structure. So this crystalline in some of the fascia is this liquid. And this is actually more of the crystalline liquid of water that holds this memory. So in the Eternal Life teachings, they call it the eternal living water. So the eternal living water
Keep in mind, like every fruit and vegetable, when you eat it raw, you're getting this 4th phase of water, structured water.
Exactly.
You know, so nature, every plant will structure the water. Yeah, John, you could look it up. It's like H2O2, H3O, I think it's called. Like, but
I think you're right.
Yeah, because H2O2 is peroxide. This is like H3O, but it's basically your body will structure water especially with infrared light. Getting sunlight will structure the water. Your emotions will structure the water, but also the best way to get like that's why you'll get more hydrated from eating fruit than drinking water, because it's
I have heard that.
It's actually a hexagonal shape structure, just like a beehive. And so we used to think that again, fact check me on this, but I've heard this from some really good scientists. Like we used to think that we absorbed water through osmosis. So you just drink it, it goes in. It turns out like we have receptors that are shaped hexagonally to almost like just like fit like a lock and key. So normal water doesn't absorb that well. Whereas if you get it from that's why we think of like a watermelon, or cucumber as being so hydrating, because it's the structured water. And there's a book called Eat Your Water, and they talk about how in the Aztecs, they had chia seeds in the desert, and they put a little bit of water in the chia seed and would make this gel. That gel is the structured water, and they would just survive on a little bit of water, and chia seeds. So yeah, it's a fascinating thing about that. So, but the fascinating thing is that our own body uses this structured water, like in the fascia, apparently.
Yeah. Well, in the fascia and in the organs, it's in multiple places. But just speaking about the fascia, and that's a perfect like consistency you mentioned with like the chia seeds, of how it kind of makes like this gelatinous.
Right.
But the fascia is actually what is giving shape and integrity for everything to be held in the right place. So whenever we're not holding the body in the right shape, we're not allowing those organs to function properly, or ligaments either have to tighten or they have to lengthen relative to the shape that we're putting the body in. And oftentimes this is what leads to injuries over time, because the ligaments and the integrity of the fascial walls, they don't hold anymore, because they've already gone past their threshold to be able to maintain integrity. So people get like hernias, right? You could be on the toilet and push too hard, and then you have abdominal hernia. Well, it's because of the lazy posture. It's like the belly forward, and like I mentioned before, the low back gets compressed. So even on the, I don't know if you, maybe this is a little too much, but on the toilet, whenever you're in the posture, you can have the most amazing bowel movements. It's because you're taking up that air, like you mentioned in the potato chip bag, you're compressing it all in. So instead of it being out here, you're compressing it all in, which is hugging and supporting and loving and nurturing all of your organs. But it's also creating a pressure into them, which allows things to eliminate. Great for the bladder, great for the liver, great for the everything wants that support.
Well, that's like my own personal story. I used to have IBS, which is like inflammation, and so I would experience burning. So I couldn't even do the posture back then, because it would actually make me nauseous every time. So that's probably a big part of how I got lazy posture. But then I fixed the gut with the high fiber diet, and so I wasn't in pain anymore. But then you like the additional part of you showing me that it does actually, yeah. I've already in other words, I was already having a good time in the bathroom, but like, yes, it's definitely improved a lot since you showed me that. Because and also, it's almost, I was going to say, like, I used to have pain there. Now doing the posture, it's incredibly pleasurable, because you're massaging those organs. They want to be massaged.
Want it.
And so it's become like a source of, I used to walk all the time. Now, every time I take a step, even driving, when you brake, you could, like, you notice, like, my gut used to be all over the place, and I would brake, it would make me feel anxious. Now, like, I feel like I'm more, like, literally more in control of the car from just doing this posture. It's so fascinating. Like,
it's true. I put that to the test. I was taking a safe turn, but a little quickly. And normally if you're turning right, you have to bring your whole body over, or else, because if you turn, you're going to go this way. But engaging in the posture, I was able to just turn, and I feel it all, the whole car turning from my core.
That's a great way to explain what it is for people who don't know what it is. Like, you literally, like, that, like, instead of like your body being moved, like, you're kind of compressed there, and like, instead of like that's absorbing almost the pressure, and it's strength. Every time you do it, becomes an opportunity to stretch, to strengthen it. So it's like you're burning extra calories all day long too.
So when I'm driving my car like a go-kart, which I tend to do, and my wife is sitting in the other chair, I should tell her that this is her opportunity to strengthen her core.
Exactly.
You can, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. That was awesome.
So and we're talking about the core a lot, because it's so essential. And there's different talks, and different people have different awareness of what core is. They still think it's like the muscles, the ab muscles, or even the muscles right behind it. But it's the deepest, that reflex vomit sling is like, that's what, whenever that's activated, all the ones in front and behind have to activate for that one to be activated.
Wow.
This is the missing key. So like Pilates and all these things, amazing. If you can activate that deep reflex, then you're going to have all of the strength. in all of the muscles in front and behind it. And along with that, we're talking so much about the core, but it's the whole body. Like, we are one unit, but whenever we walk around in like lazy pose, we can create compression, and we're like, oh, I feel my elbow, I feel my hip, I feel my knee, I feel my ankle. Whenever you have that regal posture, like you mentioned Jesus and Buddha, whenever you're in that, you have more conductivity, you have more space, you have more nerve conduction, you have more blood flow space, lymph drainage. I mean, so many different diseases, I feel, come from not being in the proper posture, because function follows form. And some would say it's the other way, but if you have the right shape, you're going to give it the opportunity to have the correct function. But if you don't have the right shape, you're going to cut that off, and the function is going to be limited relative to the structure. And
Absolutely.
it's been so eye awakening, and then like also working with people and seeing where they were and then how they are after and implemented, of just like, wow, I don't think this way anymore, and like, I don't have this anxiety anymore, I don't have fear about doing this, I'm more confident, I'm all these things. So it's not only physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's energetic, it's psychic. Like, we open up to the field, we connect to the eternal source within. It's
It really does. Like, again, I've been a brain person, and I'm still a brain person, but now I have a part of my awareness as well, like in my body, and I feel much more like here.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like I'm reaching to pick something over, whereas before I'd be like now it's just from my core. It's just like, it's like everything feels just so much more like I'm in control. Like, I think everyone's like, one of the poisons is like being controlling, right? I feel like that comes from feeling not in control. Like, I can't think of, being able to know what to eat and cook the right food. That's one of the most empowering things, right? Learning your unique driver. What could be more empowering than that? But it's like, this is up there. That's why I keep emphasizing, like, this is, like, again, I'm like lazy, like, I want to get the most bang for my buck. I want to do, so it's like, you can go to the gym and you could do all the stuff, but you listen to Justin, you're going to be able to, like, not injure yourself, get way better results in less time, holistically. Like, because why? Because we're working with nature, and nature is very simple. Nature loves homeostasis. Nature wants you in the posture. So I just wanted to share something. So why are we not in the posture all the time? And why is it difficult? And see, I had an experience with someone named Heidi, who Justin also knows. She's a myofunctional therapist. Maybe we can interview her as well. But she's all about tongue posture. So our fascia starts in our tongue, goes up and connects to our toes, right? So from our tongue to our toes is one big net of webbing, which has now, like we said, has its own electrical communication system. It's the reason why acupuncture works. It's like chakra system. It's all connected to this fascia. But what I was going to say was, so I learned from Heidi. I was using muscles in my tongue I never used before. So she came up with hundreds of games and things you can do, which are annoying. But the whole point is to connect with these muscles that you've never used before. So that requires conscious mind, right? And conscious mind is always stressful, right? Like, we want to be unconscious. So if you're habituated to lazy posture, that's going to feel good. Even though it doesn't feel good, it's going to feel good. So when Justin comes along and he's like, do this, like, and so I already have a background in becoming embodied from the tongue, so at first, yeah, it's a little frustrating. It's like, like, how do I breathe and get into this posture at the same time? I remember, like, for like the first month, it was like a little difficult. And all of a sudden, your unconscious starts to get it. And the thing is, when you're moving in the right direction, we know, like, Justin White said this, like, when you're doing something that's good for your body's going to reward you, but not at first. At first, it's like, so it's like all your muscles and fascia are literally supporting the bad habit, So anytime you're going to make change, I wish I could emphasize this point to Americans, because in a world of instant gratification and not liking pain, that if you find the right teacher who knows what they're doing and they can guide you, yes, you're going to experience a lot of pain. We were talking about this earlier, John, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you want, you're confident, you have faith in the teacher, and you have the plan, and you just got to sit back and do the, change the habits. There's going to be a phase of uncomfortableness. Like when you're going to learn a new dance, like you're going to be the worst person in the room at first. And that's going to feel uncomfortable. But after you learn the dance, you don't have to think about it. It's just like, how could I ever forget how to do that dance? So it's the same thing with this posture. It's like you get over this little phase of like, I don't want to, like reminding yourself 10, 20, 30 times a day, I'm out of posture. But then before you know it, you start sleeping and you go into posture. Like it just becomes, so that's really important.
You know what I really enjoy about it is that just even starting at the feet, you feel the activation. It's not like I'm doing this thing and I don't even feel anything happening. You're doing it and you're feeling like, whoa, my legs are activated. You move up to the thigh. My thighs are active. Like you feel like the full body activation of what it's actually doing. So I wanted to share that because typically, shoulders back and tall, like usually feel like, I feel compressed between my shoulder blades. That doesn't really feel good, but I've been told that's just what good posture is. No, it should feel amazing. It should feel like, wow, this feels so different. Like getting that brand new car, like, yeah, this is the car I've been wanting for so long, and you're driving, it smells new, and it's like amazing. That's how it should feel in our body. Like this is our vehicle. And another thing you mentioned about pain, like pain is like the greatest messenger. It'll get your attention faster than anything. It'll get your attention faster than fear, faster than anxiety. It'll say, nope. All right, everyone, here's a red carpet, pain, go right ahead. Mm-hmm. And what's beautiful about pain is it's not punishment, it's preparation. So pain is letting the conscious mind know, hey, there's something that we need to resolve here. There's something that you're not seeing. There's some attention I'm not receiving that we need to fix. And so it's actually preparing us. And I talked about bringing the darkness to light, is going within, finding that stillness of mind, because we won't find it in the loops. That's just going to keep us pain, getting our attention. So whenever we're able to find that stillness and have the right structure, then that's when pain slowly starts to decrease. Sometimes it goes right away. I've seen it happen just immediately. And then I've seen it's like 20% better today. And then a week later, it's 50% better. A week later, it's like almost gone. And then it's like, I haven't had the pain in like a year, 2 years. So what it's doing, it's preparing us. It's like I talked about, it's stripping us down to rebuild us. So that's my take on pain.
Yeah, I always say pain is information.
Exactly.
It's not good, it's not bad, it's just information.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. Man.
You have any questions, John, or if not?
No, this has been great. This
Justin,
has been awesome.
You wanna show us maybe I don't want you to have to do the whole posture. But you want to show us a little, like lazy pose, and then maybe just because we've been talking about vomit posture. Now, obviously, that means like, imagine you're gonna vomit, like, and like feel what happens. And yes. But yeah, you want to give us a little bit of a demo?
Yeah, sure. So
you should work with Justin. Like you should really get some feedback, but this is a good place to start.
Yeah. So first, because I had someone mention like, you can activate those same muscles by coughing or by laughing. So if you guys just cough a few times, just feel the engagement inside. If you just
okay,
and then like laugh, that's like more like abs, right? But if you imagine like, we've all had the flu before, and you're holding the toilet bowl, and there's that. If you engage that and you feel the back muscles activate,
okay,
that's how you know it's the whole thing. Whenever you cough, it's just a little bit. If you laugh, laughing doesn't even get back there. But that deep core, so lazy pose, we're all familiar with this. This is my lazy pose. Hips go forward, shoulders roll forward, and look at my neck. Like, I physically can't take my neck any further because I've taken the shape up here and the shape up here. But if I go here, I can take my neck as far back as I want. And so the best way to look at it is it's a bow and string. So you know a bow and has a string. So the back is the bow. It needs that stability. And the front, since we don't have much protection, especially down here, is the string. So if my bow is taut like this, because I'm always doing this all day, then all of this is going to be so short because this is so long. So then whenever I want to do something like, all right, I want to go to the gym and let me do this. I hurt my shoulder. Well, the fascial shape that we've created in that bow being too long and the string being too short doesn't anatomically, like if I'm here, that's as high up as anatomically as my arm can go. But when I'm here, the arm can go all the way back. So it's all levers and pulleys, and
it sounds like it starts lower than, like you said earlier, everybody goes, just throw your shoulder back and everything, but it sounds like you're actually starting lower than that.
yes, we're actually feeding more of the bad stuff whenever we just do our shoulders back. Because so if I'm, lazy pose, I just take my shoulders back. It actually pushes my belly forward further.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that deep core engagement, but again, with the glutes, we need the glutes, and then this stays very easily. And yes, you get abs, you get obliques, you get all the muscles, everything just starts trimming down because you're holding ourselves. Like, how many superheroes movies or like these Greek gods, or how many of those movies have you seen and they haven't been just totally ripped? Right? They all do. Well, because they're holding themselves in the right posture.
Wow. Thank you for that. That is a totally different direction than the shoulder thing. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep. So yeah, if you just play around with that engagement of the deep, the reflex pose, the deep vomit reflex, and then from there, and when we don't want to take shoulders back, we actually want to take the shoulder blades down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel that, it feeds into your engaged back muscles that you just created. And this is creating a figure eight through the whole fascial system through these pressurized system feedback loops of what they need, or I don't want to call them loops, but these feedback communication between these different systems. Because if I'm just here and I take my shoulders back, I actually just took this part of my body out of the rest of my body. So I want to engage it down, because whenever the shoulder blades are anchored, then you have full extension through your arms.
It's very counterintuitive. It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah, it is.
Because the body's back and you try to extend your arm up, it's going to get stuck. So if you take your shoulder blades down, then you can extend your arm all the way through, and you'll feel the stretch through your fingertips.
Yeah, really, especially, I'm speaking from my own experience, someone who's done yoga for 20 years, so I have a sense of somatic, but I did not have a sense of embodiment. And some of the things Justin's showing, it's like you're pushing your feet out, so your feet are on the ground, but then your hips are coming in. So there's things coming in, out, pressure. So it's actually very complicated. That's why I'm taking it piece by piece.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's what's so exciting. It's it's like when I do my food program, it's like someone just discovered whole grains, one piece of my program, the fermented vegetables, the vomit pose is so satisfying. But I haven't even mastered the shoulders and and the feet. So, but it really is interesting. And that's why I remind Justin, for people who aren't embodied, they're not going to get this all at once, because you literally, there's muscles you haven't used, There's
Yeah.
like, I like how Justin White.
Well, Justin already showed, like, you do one thing without the others, you actually hurting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain order you
Mm-hmm.
definitely need to do this in.
Exactly, and that's why I like the vomit thing to me. And I was going to mention, Justin, like you read about in Qigong and all the ancient, even the Buddha stuff. I studied a lot of. That's why it's so cool. I'm like I studied this stuff. I've even studied with teachers, but Justin's like giving me like the breakthroughs I need. Like 4 finger widths, like below your navel. It's called like the Dantian. It's called it's like it's a very important point, and so what can you tell us about that? Like you're really putting pressure there, right? Like you're actually it's not like you're just tightening your upper abs. You're actually more focused, like pulling that in. Which again, if you're starting this, start with the vomit pose, but then kind of bring it down. It's more work, but I could feel it. You're actually like it's just tightening the whole thing, but it's more subtle and it requires like just deeper, like it's like it becomes a meditation. Like you're trying to, oh, I could pull this muscle in, and then once you make more embodiment with that part, oh, I can go a little bit further. It's like you're creeping down. It's fascinating. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, the thing about so much of this is it's internal awareness, and
Right.
it's something that we're not taught in kindergarten or grade school. We're not taught internal awareness anywhere. Actually, we're taught critical thinking and how to be out.
and not
We're
even,
taught
not even.
external awareness, but
We're,
not internal
we're not
awareness.
even taught critical thinking. We're taught just like repetitive thinking. Yeah, it's
Right.
the worst of both worlds. But yeah.
So with that, it's like feeling like, can I feel inside my pelvis from the inside? Not like, can I take my fingers and feel my pelvis, but like, can I feel what that feels like? And then have a gentle toning towards that, because these muscles and this fascia connects all the way down to our pubic bones, but it also connects all the way down to our tailbone in the back. And so if we're just doing these things and we're not getting like the base of our torso and our pelvis, because we can even do like great feet and leg integration and everything, but if we're not getting the pelvis stabilized in a way that still allows for movement, then we're not going to be able to get into the full unit expression where all is one and it's all moving as one. Like you mentioned, driving the car or doing board sports or lifting weights, or I mean, you can use this application for anything, whether
Yeah,
you're
no,
making
it
love
really is
to your
like,
partner, whether
yeah.
you're sitting, whether you're standing, whether you're doing yoga, like you name it, you can use this for it, because it's just like your car. You're just learning how
Yeah,
to
no, I
use
love
your
I
own
love the
vehicle.
first principles. Like that's my whole thing is like,
Yeah.
is get to like, so this is like, think about it. We talk about walking, running, exercising,
Mm-hmm.
everything. What about just being in your body? Like that
Yeah.
comes first. That's like the first
Yeah.
action of being physical is
Yeah.
actually like is interoception, they call it, like being able to feel internal awareness. I like that.
Yeah, then in the body. And there's one last thing I want to show you guys.
Sure.
I've kind of taken you guys familiar with this pattern?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So this is known as the flower of life. It's very highly regarded in spiritual communities, and you can do great work with it. So I want you to just take that in. And then, let's see if I can get the angle here. That one.
Mm-hmm.
So if I bring them together, does one appear in motion and one not?
The one on top is more dynamic.
Dynamic, yeah.
Yeah. So this is motion. So this is the eternal lotus of life. This other one is the flower of life. They're both powerful, but this one is self-sustaining. So there's 12 concentric circles, or not concentric. There's 12 circles,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the 13th one. So this is actually a toroidal field, but it's a view from, like, if it was like this, it's encompassing around the entire body. So this center circle, the 13th circle, is the one that would be at the top. So I'm sharing this because whenever you do this posture, it's 13 steps, and then making it a 13 week
Nice.
program. And whenever it's like each engagement is its own circle. So you're building your own eternal lotus of life. And it's just like, again, just even talking about it, I get full body chills, because whenever people realize, like whenever they work with this and they decide to go through this process with this program, yes, they'll have great posture. Their mind will be clear. They won't have the same anxiety or anxiousness or fear that they used to. They'll have more confidence. All those things are great. But like getting back to the breath question, like who's that being inside that's doing all the work?
Right.
This is what allows us to return to who and what we are, so we can let go of the identity of what we've been told we are, and then what we thought we are from that, to actually becoming the eternal lotus of life, becoming the emanation of spirit in motion. Because whenever we don't have a structure, we can't have the motion of that. And here's one more thing. Whenever we're in lazy pose, it creates those pockets of gas, air, space, whatever. And when that is actually what is giving life to the darkness, to perpetuate the distortions, to perpetuate the limitations. So right whenever we embody and we are in the posture, those things don't have a space. They don't have a teaching moment to continue to help us evolve, because we're actually turning on what we are and we're letting go of what we're not.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys. This was awesome. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. We got the whole great description of that. And yeah, looking forward to talking again soon.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for bringing me back on course a little bit. I start going out there a little bit.
No,
So
that's
thank
good,
you.
man. This is good practice for you. No, I love that you're doing more of this.
Good.
Thank you.